So, if you hang out a lot on the internet, you've probably encountered at some point someone talking about how vaccines are harmful or how doctors are giving us poisons to make us sicker and make more money. These are, for all intents and purposes, conspiracy theories. However, there are real, actual problems behind the pharmaceutical industry, or big pharma, that need to be addressed, so let's talk about them. Let's start by answering a simple question. What exactly is the pharmaceutical industry? Well, it's an industry that's behind the research, development, and production of different chemical products with medical uses. So basically, they're the ones who make drugs and medications. While medicine and doctors have existed for thousands of years, pharmaceuticals are a relatively modern thing, as many breakthroughs in chemistry, pathology, hygiene, and manufacturing that appeared in the 19th century changed our understanding of human health, diseases, and how to treat them. This modernity ended up creating a sense of skepticism to the industry, as for most of history, diseases have had this esoteric and spiritual quality to them, and that makes sense. Diseases are hard to identify and treat, and can come at random times with great force, so many people often believed they had fantastical qualities to them, and more often than not, had to resort to equally fantastical ways of treating them. This type of attitude very much still prevails to this day, and as I said, that's natural. It's normal for people to stick to these beliefs, as it can be comforting to give fantastical explanations to things we're scared of. So, when a bunch of doctors tells us that actually they can take care of all of them diseases for a price, it's natural for some people to be skeptical and to believe these medications are like a scam or something. However, as always, there are people who maybe take it a little bit too far and start creating their own theories on the subject. People who not only believe that medications and the science behind them are ineffective, but that they are harmful to the human body, and the only reason we're led to believe they work is so that the companies that produce them can make a lot of money. These beliefs resonate with a lot of people, and thanks to the popularization of the internet, it has created a very big community all around the world, rallying behind these anti-pharmaceutical beliefs, looking to expose them and bring back so-called natural solutions. The problem is that, while the theory itself can be easy to understand and agree with, the ideology behind it has a lot of problems. Like many other conspiracy theories, these ideas can have their origins in fringe, bigoted beliefs. For example, some theories say that vaccines cause autism, that AIDS isn't a real disease, or HRT is being forced on children to make them transgender. This isn't true. While they might show you graphs and statistics to back up their claims, they fall apart under basic scrutiny. But these accusations end up having a real impact, both on the research of these medications, which might end up finding themselves out of funding all of a sudden because some government official believes in these conspiracies, and the communities and minorities who are victims of this slander and can find themselves having a more difficult access to often life-saving medications. We have seen real-world cases of governments that listen to these theories, restricting access to medications and having fatal consequences. More often than not, people are unaware of these ideologies and end up promoting these theories without knowing all the baggage behind them, unknowingly introducing more people to these bigoted beliefs. Another problem created by the popularity of these theories is that they can end up drowning out real criticisms of the pharmaceutical industry, because, yeah, these companies suck ass. While I will personally always defend the science and the researchers, the companies are very openly evil in many other ways, no conspiracy required. They do have some of the same problems other industries have, like treating their workers like shit, destroying the environment, and contributing to wealth inequality. But they also have some unique problems of their own. Falsely advertising their drugs can be a big one. I mean, look at how the US got addicted to opioids because they were marketed as simple painkillers. Bribing government officials to relax regulations and allow them to release unsafe drugs, which are unsafe due to lax practices and cost cutting, which can end up having disastrous consequences. Like, this isn't a shadowy group of people secretly poisoning children to make them autistic or transgender. It's a group of rich people openly pumping out cheap medications at astronomical prices which can end up harming people. And when that happens, they can just pay their way out of jail. More often than not, it's not malice, just negligence and contempt. No racist conspiracy theory required. These companies benefit from modding the conversation about them, and having the more outlandish conspiratorial voices drown out the real criticism. If you want to do your own research and find out about the real problems of these companies, instead of listening to podcasters and charismatic talkers that may have weird bigoted beliefs, and may themselves have a financial incentive to promote these conspiracy theories, my advice is that you look in your web browser like the name of a pharmaceutical company like Pfizer or Bayer, and then the word fraud, criminal charges, bribes, or like healthcare problems, regulatory problems, that sort of stuff. More concrete problems instead of weird conjectures. In general, when you start to do your research, I would avoid the term Big Pharma, as it is now permanently linked to the conspiracy theories. Just using the term pharmaceutical is more reliable. I personally have a big problem with conspiracy theories in general. They can end up downplaying real-world problems, giving voice to harmful ideologies, and distracting us from real, tangible solutions. I could make a whole video talking about conspiracy theories, how they work and how to avoid them. And I will, in the future. There is just so much I have to say about it. In the meantime, your best weapon against conspiracy theories is staying informed, having a critical mind and being careful about who you listen to. Paying attention to who your friends and family are listening to is also important, as they can unknowingly end up falling down a conspiratorial rabbit hole which is hard to come out of, and in the case of pharmaceuticals in particular, can end up causing them great harm. If we want to create real positive change, we need to show these companies that we are aware of their bullshit practices. And an important step we need to take is to dispel these bullshit theories and spread awareness of the real issues. Only then will we be able to make real progress towards a safer, more honest world.